One of my favorite topics to talk about is Roth IRAs. There's no surprise that I talk about a lot of different Roth IRAs here on the channel, recently ranging from Fidelity Roth IRAs, Charles Schwab Roth IRAs. I even want to make a Roth IRA video about Webull, but one of the most popular search terms here on YouTube is how to open up a Robinhood Roth IRA. And me being me, I haven't made a video about that yet, so I want to walk through exactly how to go about opening up and investing in a Robinhood Roth IRA. Now, this sort of idea came at a perfect time because I actually just started a Robinhood series where I'm going to be investing $1,000 a month in a portfolio until we can get that portfolio to $10,000. I thought that was going to be an exciting ongoing series for the channel, so it just sort of makes sense to me to go into one of the other features of Robinhood and talk about how to open up a Robinhood Roth IRA. But as always, before we jump into Robinhood, we need to understand the basics of the Roth IRA. What is a Roth IRA? A Roth IRA is simply an individual retirement account that allows you to contribute after-tax dollars, and once your investment grows, you can then take tax-free withdrawals in retirement. This is different from a regular brokerage account that you see every day, because with a regular brokerage account, you will have this thing called capital gains tax. And what capital gains taxes are is a tax that you have to pay on whatever money you make in your portfolio. To do a quick example, if you invest $1,000 and that $1,000 grows to $3,000, once you decide to sell and withdraw your $3,000, you will owe either a short-term or a long-term capital gains tax on the $2,000 in profit based on how long you decided to hold that position. If that position was held less than 2 years, then you would pay short-term capital gains tax, and if it was held for longer than 2 years, you will pay a long-term capital gains tax. But I don't want to dive too deep into capital gains taxes, because if you invest in a Roth IRA, you will be avoiding these taxes anyway. And another basic principle that I want to talk about that I feel you should understand before choosing Robinhood is why you should even choose Robinhood when you can choose many of the other platforms that I talked about previously on the channel. And what Robinhood does very well that a lot of other brokerages don't do is that it provides a very minimal and a very aesthetic way to invest your money. A lot of the other brokerages, although they are older and more established, typically appeal to the older generation. They don't have a lot of pizzazz, they don't have a lot of spice to them, and they just don't look that good. And honestly, they aren't that great for creating content if you want to go that route. So Robinhood is a commission-free trading platform, meaning that like many others, you can buy and sell stocks for free. And recently with this retirement option, it does offer a match for your contributions, which you typically wouldn't see unless you were being sponsored by your employer. But now that we understand the basics, let's go into some of the real benefits for the Robinhood Roth IRA. As I mentioned earlier, one of the biggest benefits to any Roth IRA is tax-free growth. Because of compounding, having the ability to keep all of the money that you make without having a percentage of it go to the government in taxes will exponentially increase your net worth, because you won't have to give 15 to 20% of all of that money that you make back to Uncle Sam. And then I personally believe that the second biggest advantage of a Roth IRA is the flexibility that a Roth IRA offers. Unlike a traditional IRA where you contribute before tax dollars and you can't take your money out without penalty, a Roth IRA can actually act as an emergency fund or a savings account if you decide to use it that way. And how this works is that a Roth IRA allows you to take out all of your contributions at any time that you want without penalties. And what is important here is that you don't confuse contributions with earnings, because if you put $5,000 in a Roth IRA and it grows to $6,000, you only contributed $5,000. So if you wanted to, you can take the $5,000 out of the Roth IRA, but you wouldn't be able to touch the additional gain of the $1,000 without incurring some kind of penalty. But because you can't take out your initial investment at any time, this is one of the reasons why I believe that this can act as a very functional emergency fund. However, let's actually look at the Robinhood Roth IRA so you can see exactly what I'm talking about. And to do this, I'm going to take you into my phone so we can explore these options a little bit more. So this is the Robinhood account that I was talking about in that challenge video. The value of the portfolio is now at about $1,200. And what you would do once you create your Robinhood account is that you would click this middle option here, and then you will see the option where you can open up a Roth IRA. But what I want to focus on specifically here is this lightning bolt option in the middle here that says here to stay, and it says earn a 1% match on IRA and 401k transfers. And if we click learn more, we can see that for every $1,000 that you contribute or transfer to Robinhood, you will get $10 just for using Robinhood. And what is unique to Robinhood is that there is no match limit to having your Roth IRA here. If you transfer $1 million, you will get $10,000 for completely free just for moving your money over. And as well as this doesn't change your match that you will get anyway from contributing money to your Roth IRA. And to go further into that, if I want to contribute money to my Roth IRA, I would then click contribute and be presented with this screen. And if I want to max out the Roth IRA, I would get a 1% match or $65 in order to incentivize me using Robinhood. And the reason why it only allows you to contribute $6,500 at a time is that that is actually the annual contribution limit set by the federal government, because the government doesn't want you contributing too much money to it because of all of the tax advantages that you get. So as you can imagine, that if the government is limiting the amount of activity that you can do in a Roth IRA, then they are probably losing money the more that you use it, which should mean that you should use it as much as physically possible or legally legally possible so that you can avoid paying as much money to the government as possible. But the reason why I'm not going to actually contribute to this Roth IRA in this video is because of the income limitations. And Robinhood tells you what those limitations are. It says you can only contribute to a Roth IRA if your modified adjusted income is less than $153,000 or $228,000 depending on your filing status. So if you are married filing jointly, you have to make less than $228,000 a year, or if you are single, you have to make less than $153,000 a year. But now that you have an understanding of what the Robinhood Roth IRA looks like, let's talk about how to actually get started investing your money into it and what to invest in. Now this part is going to be my personal preference. This is not going to be investment advice, but when I started my Roth IRA, what I love to do and what I still do to this day is invest in index funds. And index funds are very near and dear to my heart because it provides a lot of diversity. It allows you to invest in overall markets and doesn't rely on a specific stock movement in order to be profitable. For example, if you want to invest in the S&P 500 or the biggest 500 companies in the United States, you could theoretically go out and buy stock in every single one of those 500 companies, or you could just buy one index fund that packages the whole market for one single price. It will be a lot more expensive and a lot more time consuming to try to buy all of the individual stocks, whereas you can have the same benefit from buying an index fund and then consistently invest your money accordingly. And because of the Robinhood challenge I have going on, I do have individual stocks in my portfolio now, but they only make up about 10 to 15% of the overall portfolio. I definitely don't want them to be any more than that because my main focus is to invest in index funds so that if one sector does go down, that won't bring the value of my entire portfolio down with it. And if you do open up a Roth IRA, it is going to be very different from a 401k where you can actually choose what you invest in. Most 401k options gives you a list of things to choose from, but you are definitely not open to the overall market. And I believe that a Roth IRA is one of the best options to actually take control of your retirement. So after you pick your investments, the next thing that you want to do is just keep an eye on your investments from time to time. You definitely don't want to be watching your portfolio from a day-to-day basis because this is only going to allow you to be more stressful. So I would say just take a peek at it on a weekly or a monthly basis. And the most important thing that you can do in this stage is to set aside money on a monthly basis to consistently contribute. Don't watch the news or read Yahoo Finance to decide whether or not you're going to contribute more money or less money to your portfolio each month. If you are planning on maxing out your Roth IRA in any given year, you should just decide to invest about $500 to $550 a month, whether the market is up or down and dollar cost your way in. This will be one of the most consistent and less stressful ways to invest because no matter what you do, you will be continuously buying assets. And as your assets grow, compound interest will then work in your favor, and then your money will start to snowball in your favor. The key here is to let exponential growth work for you, not against you. If you only try to invest on the market's best days, then you are probably going to be missing out on a little bit of that initial growth, which could be anywhere from 2 to 3%. And if you actually invest on the market's worst days, then you may be taking advantage of some stocks while they are on discount. However, to simplify all this, I would just say to invest consistently no matter what the market is doing. Set up a plan for what you want to buy on a monthly basis, whether that's index funds or whether that's individual stocks. Set up your plan and stick to it and give yourself a long timeline to invest. Don't expect your portfolio to grow 100% in 5 years. Give yourself 20 or 30 years so that you can fully take advantage of the compounding effect. And then once you do all this, you may be thinking, well, how do I get my money? Can I take it out anytime? As I mentioned earlier in this video, you can take out your contributions at any time, but once you get ready to withdraw your gains that you made on your portfolio, you will have to wait until you're 59 and a half years old. And once you are 59 and a half years old, you can then start to take qualified distributions from your Roth IRA. And what is another big difference from a Roth IRA than a traditional IRA is that you don't actually have to take distributions once you're 59 and a half. If you had a traditional IRA, you would then be forced to start taking money out of it periodically on a yearly basis. But with a Roth IRA, if you wanted to, you could just keep that money in that portfolio and allow it to continuously grow until you're actually ready to need it. Gives you even more of a safety net to protect yourself from taxes and allow your portfolio to grow tax-free for longer. And with that being said, if you found some value in learning how to open up a Robinhood Roth IRA, then hit that subscribe button as I do make more videos about investing, side hustles, and how to make money online. And if you do decide to stick around for those other videos, I will see you in the next one, guys.